Take a seat, Gail. I had always loved the rugged charm of Sky Valley, its towering pines and misty hills calling to him for a much-needed break from city life. This weekend, he brought his daughter Brandy and son Chris for a little getaway, an adventure they'd all been looking forward to. The rain was heavy as they pulled up to the cozy lodge, the kind of place you could almost hear the wood creak as it settled, the smell of pine and rain filling the air. The kids were excited, especially Brandy, who loved hiking despite the drizzle that made the trail slick. I'm going to race you to the waterfall, she challenged Chris, already pulling on her boots, the rainwater dripping off her beanie. Not if I get there first, Chris laughed, matching her energy. But Karl, ever the voice of reason, held up his hand. Not in this weather, you're not. We'll head out after we warm up inside a bit. The lodge was small but inviting, the fire crackling in the stone hearth and the scent of something spicy waiting from the kitchen. After unpacking, the family set off to explore the local area. They were looking for the waterfall that was rumored to be even more stunning when the rain-swollen streams made it rage down the rocks. The hike was harder than they anticipated, especially with the slick trails, but they pushed on. Karl staying close behind as Brandy led the way, calling back over her shoulder, "We're almost there, I can hear it." And she did do that. Finally, after what felt like hours, they reached the waterfall. It was magnificent, a cascade of water thundering down the rocks, mist rising up and soaking them as they stood in awe. The view was worth every step, even if their clothes were soaked through and the wind was biting. But after taking in the sight and snapping a few quick photos, they were ready to head back to the warmth of the lodge. As they entered the town, hunger set in, and Brandy, who had done some research beforehand, insisted they try the local Mexican restaurant, Las Cazuelitas. "It's supposed to be amazing," she said, scrolling through her phone. Karl had reservations, though. He had never heard of a terrible Mexican restaurant that had great reviews. But they went anyway, guided by Brandy's adventurous spirit. The restaurant was small and dimly lit, the kind of place that felt like a dive. The smells were a mixture of spices, but not the kind of deliciousness they'd hoped for. The menu had all the classics, tacos, burritos, quesadillas, but then it went off the rails. Tacos made from cheek, tongue, and tripe. Karl hesitated, but Brandy was already ordering everything. Unusual for her enthusiasm, infectious. When the tacos arrived, Karl's stomach did a little flip. The chicken mole was thick and dark, the kind of rich sauce that made your taste buds work overtime. But then there was the cheek, tongue, and tripe tacos, unmistakably squishy and oddly textured. Chris stared at his with wide eyes. "I'll eat the chicken," he said, picking up the taco cautiously, his face crunching in disbelief as he took a bite. Brandy, on the other hand, dived in without hesitation, chewing thoughtfully. "Not bad," she said, her voice muffled as she chewed. "I think I like the cheek best." Karl took a cautious bite of the chicken mole. It was all right, but the tacos, those were another story. He couldn't quite understand what had possessed the locals to create such a dish, but he wasn't going to let it ruin the day. He glanced over at Chris, who was trying to hide the expression on his face as he chewed. When dinner was done, they made their way back to the lodge, trying not to think too much about what they'd just eaten. The rain had lightened up, and they returned to the warmth of the fireplace, ready for some fun. The three of them settled around a big wooden table at the lodge's cozy common room and started playing cards, Uno, goldfish, and a few rounds of crazy eights. Laughter filled the air, and Karl watched his kids with pride. Despite the wet, wild hike and the questionable meal, they were happy. Brandy was giddy from the waterfall. Chris had his mischievous grin on as he strategically played his cards, and Karl was content in a way that he hadn't been in a long time. As the fire crackled and the rain tapped gently against the windows, the simple joy of being together made it all the mishaps worth it. Tomorrow they try again, maybe a little less ambition when it came to the food. But tonight it was all about family, cards, and the warmth of the lodge.
Aw.